Apple just reported a mind-bending $143.8 billion in a single quarter. That is an all-time record. On paper, their balance sheet is an absolute masterpiece. But I need you to look past those staggering numbers for 1 second. Because beneath that shiny aluminium, Apple is facing a massive structural crisis. They're quietly outsourcing their brain. If the core computing layer of our lives shifts away from the smartphone and into artificial intelligence, Apple's trillion-dollar walled garden doesn't just crack, it completely collapses. Today, we're talking about why the greatest hardware empire in history is actually falling behind, and why playing it safe might cost them everything. To understand exactly what is broken today, we have to look closely at what Apple was originally built to be. Let's rewind to 1976. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak started Apple in a garage, funding it by selling their Volkswagen minibus. Seems relatable, right? That is exactly what you call a grassroots start. But Jobs' motivation wasn't just to make a company to sell circuit boards like many others. He wanted to fundamentally change human behavior through computer hardware. Jobs was not a spreadsheet guy. He was a rebel who obsessed over the intersection of art and technology. For example, after dropping out of college, he sat in on a random calligraphy class. Years later, that exact class inspired the multiple fonts and beautiful typography on the original Mac. That is the kind of creativity and artistry we're talking about. Jobs operated with what employees called a reality distortion field. He had an uncanny ability to persuade and drive his team to achieve the impossible, even if it meant creating a highly intense, high-pressure environment. Sounds familiar? This culture is evident in many other great companies like Tesla and Nvidia, except Jobs was years ahead. At the time, he actually believed that a culture of tension and disagreement was necessary because innovation comes from the clash of brilliant minds. This is why he pushed his creative vision so relentlessly, to the point that his own board fired him in 1985 for taking too many financial risks. But by 1997, Apple was bordering on bankruptcy. They had to bring him back to save a dying enterprise. Jobs returned, slashed the bloated product lines, and delivered the legacy we know today. I am talking about the iMac, the iPod, the iPhone, and Gen Z kids' favorite, the iPad. The key takeaway here, Apple's greatest intangible asset was never just a factory in China. It was their absolute obsession with disruption. Steve Jobs built a company that refused to play it safe. But when Jobs handed the company to Tim Cook, Apple's DNA changed. Think of it like inheriting a legacy sports car. Jobs built the engine from scratch, but Cook is the guy who optimized the fuel efficiency. Cook came from IBM and Compaq. He is the supply chain wizard who mastered the art of just-in-time manufacturing. Cook brought ruthless operational discipline, cut inventory, and made Apple a $3 trillion juggernaut. He also changed the corporate culture, favoring harmony and collaboration over the intense creative tension that Jobs prized. Cook follows playbook. He doesn't write new ones. When the board choose Cook, they choose stability and profit margin over creativity. For a decade, extracting recurring revenue from a locked-in user base was undeniably the right financial call. But now, the entire tech landscape is shifting underneath them, and that old playbook is starting to look obsolete. I mean, just look at Apple's artificial intelligence strategy. Some would say it's a complete mess. Last year, Apple promised us a supercharged, highly personalized Siri, but they just officially delayed those flagship AI feature until 2026 because the software simply isn't ready. At one point, Apple even had to disable their AI news summary because the system was twisting headlines and inventing fake facts. There were fights inside the boardroom. They just pushed out their AI chief, John Giandria. To replace him, they poached an executive named Aman Subramania. who had just spent 4 months at Microsoft after a long stint at Google. Hopefully I didn't butcher those names. But the numbers are telling an even worse story. Rivals like Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft are collaboratively spending upwards of $665 billion on their AI data centers. Alphabet alone announced that they will spend between $175 billion to $185 billion on capex in 2026. Apple looked at that massive bill and said, no thank you. They're only projected to spend about $13.5 billion on capex in 2026. Instead of absorbing the volatility and building their own frontier AI, they're renting it. I mean, literally from one of their biggest rivals. They're licensing Google Gemini to power their future features. Apple, the company that demands total control of its ecosystem, just outsourced its brain. So, whilst Apple is standing still, what are the competition doing? Let's be honest. Apple's true economic moat is ecosystem lock-in. Once you're trapped in their walled garden, the switching costs are simply too high to leave. But that entire retention model depends on one thing: the iPhone remaining the undisputed center of your digital life. And competitors realize they cannot beat the iPhone at being a phone, so they're trying to make the smartphone entirely obsolete. If you cannot compete in the already matured market, why not just make a new one? Meta, for example, is pushing their Ray-Ban smart glasses that use AI to identify objects in your real-world view, and they just bought an AI startup called Limitless that makes a wearable pendant to record and summarize your conversation. But the biggest threat comes from OpenAI. OpenAI recently bought a hardware startup run by Johnny Ive for $6.4 billion. Yes, that Johnny Ive, Apple's legendary former design chief, the guy who designed the iPhone alongside Steve Jobs, is now working with OpenAI to build next-generation consumer AI devices. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman recently told journalists that smartphones are actually terrible for AI companions. He openly stated that OpenAI's real rival isn't Google, it's Apple. They want to build a calmer hardware device that completely bypass the smartphone. This is an existential threat. If these new devices succeed, you won't need an app store. You won't need an iPhone. Apple's own executives actually admitted this under oath. Apple's service chief, Eddie Q, testified that AI is moving so fast, users might not even need an iPhone in a decade. But let's step back and take a look at the big picture for a second. Because if you look at Apple's Q1 2026 earnings, you will probably call me crazy. The numbers look absolutely flawless. Apple just reported that staggering $143.8 billion in revenue. The iPhone, their ultimate cash-generating asset, saw sales surge by 23% to $85.3 billion. And China, a market everyone said was a structural liability, rebounded with an explosive 38% jump in sales. Tim Cook called the demand simply staggering. Right now, there are 2.5 billion active Apple devices out in the wild. User churn is basically zero. But here is the analogy you need to keep in mind. Selling record hardware today while missing the AI wave is like Blockbuster reporting record VHS sale right before Netflix took over. This extraordinary hardware success is just buying them precious time. So what does all of this mean? Here is my take. Apple is a financial juggernaut. They generated nearly $54 billion in operation cash flow in a single quarter. They are definitely not dying today or anytime soon. I think right now, Apple is playing an interesting game called strategic patience. They're sitting on over $130 billion in cash, watching their rivals burn hundreds of billions of dollars on AI infrastructure. They're clearly betting on the AI bubble to pop, or that the technology will simply become commoditized. Let Google and Microsoft take all the risk. If AI valuation crash, Apple can just swoop in and buy the pieces, which would be one of the most brilliant brilliant financial play if they come out on the right side. But if they're wrong, and this technology truly becomes the new operating system of our lives, Apple is in serious trouble. The mystique of their wait-and-see strategy is shattered. Jobs built Apple by taking massive existential risk to create the future. Today, Apple is trying to optimize the present. Hardware buys you time, but in the AI economy, falling behind could cost them the entire ecosystem. Thanks as always for watching. If you liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Also, check out my website at pandacatfinance.com and subscribe to my free newsletter. Hope you stick around, and I'll see you guys in the next one.